It's Over Opinionated. Josh Cott.
Right, everyone, welcome to Over Opinionated. Big apologies that I haven't been on in a while. I've had a few personal problems. The biggest one is I broke my phone and cannot get into it. And I use my phone a lot with this podcast. But this is all going to be brought to you by my laptop and my research on it. We are at the Iowa caucus. An Iowa caucus is much like a primary, except it's run by the Republican Party of Iowa. If you're a Republican, and then the Democratic Party of Iowa if you're a Democrat. And we have some questions. Trump is up big, leading big in the polls right now, everywhere, especially in Iowa, and especially with evangelical Christians, which just means a conservative, Bible-believing Christian, Protestant Christian. And I want to read you a few articles today from around the news world. And here is an article from NBC News by Mark Mary. Des Moines, Iowa, boosted by his standing with evangelical Christians, first-time caucus goers, and registered Republicans, former President Donald Trump holds nearly a 30-point lead in the final NBC News Des Moines Register poll before Monday's GOP caucus. The poll also finds out Trump enjoying the backing of the most enthusiastic and committed likely caucus goers, which could be crucial as the state grapples with sub-zero temperatures and even colder wind chills on caucus night. I know there's a lot of controversy on him, but I just feel like he's the man for the job right now, said 34-year-old poll respondent of Des Moines, who said he's caucusing for Trump. You know, I just don't have a feeling anyone else running is really qualified like he is. The poll shows former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley narrowly edging past Florida Governor Ron DeSantis for second place, although the gap is within the poll's margin of error. So they're basically tied for second place. It'll be interesting to see who gets a second place. Yet while Haley's first choice supporters has ticketed up, just 9% of her supporters say they're extremely enthusiastic about her candidacy, substantially lower than the enthusiasm for Trump and even DeSantis. There is undying weakness here, pollster J. Allen Caesar said of Haley's standing. If turnout is low, it seems to me that a disproportionate share of her supporters might stay home. According to the Iowa poll, which has been covered over the last 3 decades, Trump gets his first choice with support from 48% of likely Republican caucus goers, followed by Haley's 20% and DeSantis 16%, and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy's 8%. Which one of the following Republicans would be your first choice for president? And that shows a poll. And Trump in January is at 48%. And then his poll in December was 51%, so it's down a couple points. That's really slim. That could be an error on the pollster. It could mean anything. Nikki Haley's up 20% from 16, and Ron DeSantis is down 16 from 19, so he dropped a little bit. And, you know, as I talked before, Ron DeSantis' supporters are Trump adjacent. They like Trump. They don't like a lot of things he has said. They like his policies, okay? So early on, when Trump and DeSantis were the first few candidates in the race, all the pro-establishment people rallied behind Ron DeSantis. Not because they like him, they really don't, but because they like him more than Trump. But now that they have another option, they have Nikki Haley. That's their girl. They're going behind her. But even with that, Ron is almost basically tied with her in almost everything except New Hampshire. With Chris Christie dropping out of the race. Chris Christie supporters are going to be more establishment, more moderate. I do think that'll push Haley to overcome DeSantis for second place. But the question is, can Donald Trump beat? He's going to beat everyone. He's going to destroy everyone. This is Trump's world. We're just living in it. This is just a stop at the Trump train in Iowa. The question is, will he break 51%? I don't know. I don't think he will. But I think he gets really close. I think he gets like 47 to 49 in that range. That's my idea. I don't do a lot of predictions, but I think it'll be very close. Because a lot of DeSantis' supporters early on has went back to Trump, and that's just the way it is. They love Trump. They might like DeSantis, but they love Trump. We're going to keep reading. Trump's 28-point lead over his nearest competitor is down only slightly from the 32% advantage he enjoyed in December's poll. But if his current lead holds on caucus night, it will be the largest margin of victory for a non-incumbent competing in Iowa's Republican presidential caucus. The current record of margin is by 13% was set by Bob Dole in 1988. And that was important for Bob Dole because he was running against the current vice president and he beat him in the Iowa caucus. But Trump's going to blow Bob Dole's record out of the water. He's just going to absolutely destroy it. I mean, by 28, 29 some points, it's not even going to become close, and it's never going to be broken again for a non-incumbent running. And technically, Trump is not an incumbent because he's not holding the office, although he has held the office before. He is still in a commanding position, but there is a slippery slope, said Trump. The game appears to be for second place without a real challenger on the horizon. Trump's strongest groups are evangelical Christians, with 51% of them picking him as their first choice. Registered Republicans are 54% first-time caucus goers, so first-time people voting in the caucus, 56%, and likely caucus goers who don't have college degrees, 59%. That's just pure domination at every level on all these polls, and the lowest being, conservative Christians, evangelical Christians having 58, first choice caucus goers 56, and then registered Republicans 54, and the people who didn't have a college degree, high school degrees most of the time, 59%. That's dominating. It's dominating. Haley's 20% first choice support in the polls is up 20% from December's poll, and she overperforms among independents, with 33% of them picking her as the first choice, and those with college degrees with 27%. Strictly half of Nikki Haley's supporters either identify as independents, 39%, Democrats 11%, and significant differences from the poll's overall makeup, which stands at 69%. Republicans, 23% Republicans, and independents at 5. So, and DeSantis 16% first choice support is down 3% from December when he was in a distant second place to Trump. The Florida governor overperforms among evangelicals, with 22% of them selecting him as their top candidate. So most conservative Christians are supporting Trump, and then after that would be DeSantis. The poll was ongoing when former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie suspended his campaign on January 10th, but Christie did not set foot in Iowa during his campaign, preferring his focus to resources and extent elsewhere, and the Iowa polls show almost no change after his exit. So Christie leaving the race makes hardly no difference. His numbers will go to Nikki Haley. Okay. And there's a clip. Chris Christie kind of cried his way out of the nomination, saying anyone that also says that Trump isn't unfit to be president is also unfit to be president. So suspect Chris Christie be your typical MSNBC and CNN Republican to come on and talk about how bad the current Republican Party is. Oh, goodness. This is from an article from Fox News. Former president, the article's name is You and Me, Haley, Trump's duel on the campaign trail as Iowa's caucus loom. This is from Fox News. Former President Donald Trump, while speaking Sunday at a rally in Indianapolis, Iowa, on the day before the Iowa caucus, said one of his Republican presidential nominee opponents, Nikki Haley, is not ready for the job. Trump told the crowd there is a lack of loyalty in politics. Adding to that, a lesser extent, there's been a lack of loyalty from Nikki Haley. He explained that he gave her position as UN ambassador when she was governor of South Carolina because he wanted then Lieutenant Governor Henry McMaster's to be the governor of the state. Nikki did a good job. She was out there, but she's not ready to be president, Trump said. I know very well, and honestly, she's not tough enough. The comments came from the comments came hours after the former South Carolina governor issued a challenge to Trump in an interview with Fox News Digital ahead of Monday's Iowa caucus. It's you and me now, she said, after the release of the polls that show her in second place against Trump and fellow GOP candidate Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. It's you and me now. No, it's not. It's all Trump. It's been Trump the whole race. It's not you and him. You're fighting for second fiddle. You're fighting for second place. Oh, Nikki Haley is all talk. She's all talk. She goes to New Hampshire and she dances around the question of what the Civil War was about to presumably not make a lot of voters in the South mad. They already hate her because she backed down and took down the Confederate battle flag after basically contradicting what she said before. So she will say anything to get in power, just like any other politician. Oh, I'm not a big fan of Nikki Haley, if you hadn't noticed. If it comes down to Nikki Haley and Trump, by the time Super Tuesday hits, if Trump hasn't destroyed everyone in the race, I'm voting for Trump. There's no question about it. None at all. I can't stand Nikki Haley. I just don't like her. Both Nikki Haley and Governor Ron DeSantis had one more debate, and they both hit each other as hard as they can. They're fighting for scraps. They're literally two dogs fighting under the table when the dog's owner is eating the main course and they're fighting for the leftover scraps of Trump. And they're hitting each other as hard as they can back and forth. Just two dogs fighting for scraps. It's basically what they are right now. Trump is dominating this race. It's not even close. New Hampshire is a little bit close, but Trump's still up to like 20 points. I could see Nikki win in New Hampshire, but she's not going to win anything else. Oh, so, they, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley go back and forth, keep hitting each other at a meaningless debate for second place. Vivek Ramaswamy doesn't qualify for the debate, so he goes to a podcast with Tim Pool and Candace Owens. And I'll read you just a little bit about that from the Des Moines Register. Des Moines, Iowa. Vivek Ramaswamy said at least 3 armed security guards are needed in each school in the county after a gunman unalived the 6th grader and injured several staff members and students last week at this high school. I'm not going to name it. Podcaster Tim Pool and conservative commentator Candace Owens joined Ramaswamy for a live podcast at his campaign's Des Moines headquarters after he failed to qualify for CNN's Republican debate. He was asked on the question on armed security. I don't think one is sufficient, just a logical point, Ramaswamy said. Some schools that are really large might benefit from 4 or 5. So, and I just wanted to read you just a bit of that, not because of his commentary there, just to register he did a podcast instead of a debate. And this debate was small, so I mean, small potatoes. Like I said, this is Trump's world. This is the Trump train stopping at Iowa. And listen, I mean, my favorite was Ron DeSantis. If I find out today that Ron won, I'd be tickled pink. But I live in the real world. I live in the real world, and I know that's not going to happen. So Republicans have made their bed that Donald Trump is their candidate to go against Joe Biden. We have to go out there. We have to beat Joe Biden now. that to me, that's the election. It's Trump and Biden. And I'm not saying the primaries are over. They're far from over. But that's our objective. It's to beat Biden. Because Biden is an awful president. I don't know how people can afford to vote for Joe Biden. And I know people will say, well, this economy is Trump's fault. BS. We all know it's BS. Before COVID hit, the economy was great. And I understand the president doesn't control the economy with the flip of a switch, but he does set a tone. And everybody believes that. I mean, everybody believes that. Everyone will always blame the other party's president when the economy's bad. Obama did it for 8 years when George W. Bush just left the White House. He blamed him for everything he could because his presidency was bad and didn't do a good job. We had one of the slowest recovering economic returns in American history. Even though it was a bad setting. So we're at that point. Republicans are going with Trump come hell or high water. And listen, it is cold. It's been snowing off and on here in Southwest Virginia. And y'all guys be careful because it's going to get real cold in the coming days. But it's colder in Iowa. It's more north of us. It's not the most northern state, but it's more north than Virginia. Who's going to be the most dedicated? A Nikki Haley supporter, establishment Nikki Haley supporter. I'm not saying the establishment people don't vote. They do. Or a pissed off, red-blooded, right-wing American who thinks Donald Trump was cheated, that would do almost anything for Trump. I think I know why. Who's going to be more likely to show up on a very cold day tomorrow after work? You know. Oh, man. It's going to be a crazy day tomorrow. The Iowa caucus. It's going to be super cold. It's Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And, you know, the left will always claim how much they hate religion in politics. And we have to have a separation of church and state. This, and this. They say it so much they even forget what they mean in the first place. Separation of church and state never meant that Christians can't use godly principles to govern and use their Bible as a guidebook. It's never what that meant. It meant that the United States shouldn't have an official church. And tomorrow, when all the liberals post everything about MLK, and listen, I'm not saying MLK was a hard right-wing Republican like I am. I'm not saying that. I'm also not saying that he's what a typical Democrat of the day is either. And guess what? Everyone forgets. They always just say Martin Luther King Jr. Day. They never say Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. Ever. A Southern Baptist minister that used his religion to advocate for equal rights among the races. You do that with abortion, man, they're not going to like you too well. You do that with abortion, you use your religion to say it's wrong to kill babies, they're not going to like you. You use your religion to say all people, regardless of skin color, is the same, and you lean a little left on some things, they'll love you, they'll build you a statue, they'll make you a day. You call for the abolition of killing unborn human beings in the womb, then they're going to call you Satan himself. That's just how they are. Alright, everyone, we're going to take a small break from being serious. And if you keep up with Over Opinionated socials on TikTok, well, it's my personal channel, but I use it to promote the podcast. We have TikTok, and then we have X, formerly Twitter, and Facebook. Go give them a follow at Over Opinionated. And I want to show you guys a character I came up with. Her name is Blue Hair Betty. She's a stereotypical liberal, transgender woman, transgender, lesbian, non-binary, vegan woman, introducing you to the world of veganism. If you want to see the video, go to the social media, but I figured I'd play you the clip.
Hey everyone, I'm Blue Hair Betty, the transgender, lesbian, non-binary, converted to veganism the last 6 months, new contributor, Over Opinionated. But anyway, I'm going to be showing you guys the ultimate, if you can't read it here, it's ultimate plant-placed chicken wings. They look like chicken nuggets when you first pull them out. Don't let that bother you. And they have just a little bit of buffalo sauce you can put on them. Very nutritious, very good for you. No need to kill an innocent chicken. What's a chicken ever done to you? They're beautiful animals. Let's just say animals are friends, not food. So I'm going to introduce you. This is Over Opinionated with Josh Scott. I'm the transgender reporter. And I'm showing you my life converted as a vegan. Was it a little pricey? I mean, what's the cost? The life of a beautiful chicken? Or, a measly $10 or $15 for hardly no food? See the chicken? Okay, here's the chicken wing. Oh, so delicious. Falls off the fork. Here's my plant-based chicken wing. Let's try, and I'm sorry, my hair's just a little out of style. another one, but you get the idea. Delicious. So please go follow me. Please go follow the podcast if you want to see more transgender, vegan food reports at Over Opinionated. I'm Blue Hair Betty. Now, some people might say I look like Josh. I'm not. Josh has a lot of cousins, and we're gonna change America and Southwest Virginia to be transgender, vegetarian, vegans. And y'all guys remember, y'all vote for Joe Biden in 2024 to keep out the election-denying fascist Donald Trump. He's so evil. His hair's so fake. I hate people with fake hair. I mean, it's obvious he's got fake hair. It's not real. And, I mean, come on. Fake hair's dumb. Well, I would say God bless you, but for those who do not believe in God, I will say I hope you have a great day, and may everybody be okay. And listen, we're going to be coming back on here for more vegan food talk. Thank you, guys. Toodles. Hey, everybody. I'm Josh. Hope you like I am a Christian. I have a Christian podcast, but we got to let other people on here. So, Blue Hair Betty's my cousin. She's a vegan, vegetarian. She's all the isms. I want to show you the best way you can eat these. Okay? You can still eat these. You might think, man, these are nasty. I ain't listening to a vegan, vegetarian. You can still eat these. Take some ham. Don't tell Betty. Take some ham. Alright. Take some ham. Put the fake chicken nugget in there. Wrap it up. There we go. It's not that bad if you do it like that. Alright, we got more skits coming for you. See, I got stuff all over me. We got more skits coming for you at Over Opinionated. God bless.
Alright, everyone. I hope y'all enjoyed that little skit. If you want to watch the video, go to Facebook. Or go to TikTok. At TikTok, my handle is just Over Opinionated, and you can find my Facebook page at Over Opinionated, and it's just got the podcast logo. You can watch the whole skit. It's more funny when you get to watch it on your phone instead of just listening to it. I have a ridiculous blue wig on, and But we want to have some more characters. Blue Hair Betty will be back. 'Cause, everyone, I just want to let you know, I've been working on my Blue Hair Betty voice. It's very good. Very working hard. Getting in touch with my girl side. Hopefully I could make the team on the Lady Ballers. If you've ever watched the movie Lady Ballers. Very funny. Very supportive. Lady Ballers is a movie by the Daily Wire. They came up with to mock transgenderism. It's actually fairly funny. It's ridiculous, but it's funny. But yeah, guys, go check out my other socials. Share the podcast. Pray for it. Things are going to be off until I can get a new cell phone. I hate that. I do. I really do. The only thing I can do on my cell phone is answer a phone call and tell Siri to call someone. So if I don't see your DMs right away, if I don't see this or that, forgive me. When I get home from work, I check my computer and see if anyone's DM me on Facebook, because people do. Or, see what happened here or there. I can't even get on my Twitter account right now. But I will get my phone. I will get another phone eventually. It's just going to take some time. I have insurance, but man, it's like I even don't have it. But yeah, the Iowa caucus. It is here, and we're at the first stop at the Trump train, I guess, is what it looks like. God bless you guys. Please stay patient, because I will be coming back on with better content when I get my phone, and I will be coming on with longer shows, hopefully. But hey, sometimes a shorter show is okay too. Y'all stay careful out when you drive. Um, I am going to give you a little Bible verse of the day, and then we'll move on. So I'm actually going to read you a little bit of a story from the Bible from Joshua, the guy I was named after, um, that's been on my heart this week. So Joshua chapter 2, reading out of the NIV. Then Joshua, son of Nun, his mom was Catholic. No, I'm kidding. The first verse. Then Joshua, son of Nun, secretly sent 2 spies from Shechem to go look over the land. He said, especially Jericho. So they went and entered the house of a prostitute named Rahab and stayed there. The king of Jericho was told, look, some of the Israelites have come here tonight to spy on the land. So the king of Jericho sent his messenger to Rahab, bring out these men who have come to you and enter your house, because they have come to spy out the whole land. But the woman had taken the 2 men and hid them, and she said, the men came to me, but I did not know where they had come from. At dusk, when it was time to close the gates, they left. I don't know which way they went. Go after them quickly, you may catch up with them. But she had taken them up to the roof and hid them under the flax she had laid out on the roof. So the men set out in pursuit of the spies on the roof that led to the fords of the Jordan. And as soon as the pursuers had gone out, the gate was shut. Before the spies laid down for the night, she went up on the roof and said to them, I know that the Lord has given you this land, and that a great fear of you has fallen on us, so that all who live in this country are melting in fear because of you. We have heard how the Lord dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what you did at Shiloh and Og, the 2 kings of the Amorites east of the Jordan, and whom you completely destroyed. When we heard it, our hearts melted in fear, and everyone's courage fell because of you. For the Lord your God is God in heaven above and in the earth below. Now then, please swear to me by the Lord that you will show kindness to my family, because I have shown kindness to you. Give me a sign that you will spare the lives of my father, my mother, my sisters and brothers, and all who belong in them, and that you will save us from death. Our lives for your lives, the man assured her. If you don't tell what we are doing, we will treat you kindly and faithfully when the Lord gives us the land. So she let them down by a rope through the window of the house she lived and was part of a city wall. She said to them, go to the hills so the pursuer will not find you. Hide yourself there 3 days until they return, and then go on your way. Now the man had said to her, this oath you made us swear will not be binding on us, unless when we enter the land you have tried this sacred cord on the window through which you will let us down, and unless you have brought your father and mother and your brothers and all your family into the house. If any of them go outside your house into the streets, their blood will be on their hands. We will not be responsible. As for those who are in your house, their blood will be on our heads if a hand is laid on them. But if you tell what we are doing here, we will be released from the oath you made us swear. Agreed, she replied. Let it be as you say. She sent them on their way, and they departed, and she tied the scarlet cord in the window. When they left, they went into the hills and stayed there 3 days, until the pursuers had searched all along the roads and returned without finding them. Then 2 men started back. They went down out of the hills, forded the river, and came to Joshua son of Nun, and told him everything that had happened. Then Joshua said, the Lord has surely given us the whole land and all the people in it because they fear us. I really like this verse of scripture, and everyone can, they always go to, why did Joshua's army kill everyone? Why did God command that? Well, because God had a judgment on those people. God had a judgment on those people, and they could have done what Rahab, the prostitute, did, but they chose to stay and fight instead. And I think, I think that's a really humbling idea when there's nothing different between us and the men of Jericho other than God's grace. We deserve the judgment that Joshua poured out on the sinful, rebellious men in Jericho just as much as they did. But God, through His grace, gave us His Son Jesus, and whoever accepts Him now has a way into the presence of the Father in heaven. If anyone ever reads Hebrews 11, Hebrews 11 is basically the Hall of Fame of faith. If you've had good faith in God, you're now the Hall of Fame of faith. And Rahab, that was not Jewish at all, is in the Hall of Fame of faith. Because by her faith, she had faith in the Lord and saw what has been done. And God used a prostitute, someone low of the low, that was basically repentant, saved her and her family. And they're the only ones that lived. And God saved them. I read you Hebrews chapter 11, verse 30. By faith, the walls of Jericho fell after the army had marched around them for 7 days. By faith, the prostitute Rahab, because she welcomed the spies, was not killed with those who were disobedient or unbelieving. There's a footnote that says disobedient or unbelieving. That'd be the same thing. She had faith, and she repented, and she believed in the Lord, and God adopted her into His family. He didn't say, you're a prostitute, get away from me, you're disgusting. And a lot of men today do that. You don't even have to be a prostitute. It's just you've had sex out of marriage with too many people, or this or that and this, and that's not how God sees it. God made Rahab a new creation, and get this, and some of you know this, some of you don't. Rahab is in the genealogy in Matthew of Jesus. So Rahab is related to the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. That's pretty amazing. This woman that came from nothing, from a rebellious, ungodly people, repented, and God took her in, made her something new, and because of her faith, gave her a new life. You can have a new life right now. You can have a new life right now too, if you put your faith in Jesus Christ. Well, God bless you. I'm not going to play y'all outro music this time, but hopefully when I get my phone back, you'll get some outro music. God bless you all. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.